Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You want me to restart it?
Okay, we're still good. What were you going to say?
You want me to restart that?
What was going on for you guys mentally and emotionally versus OXG, Astralis, and Beast Coast?
Yeah, the whole 2 play days were an emotional roller coaster for sure.
It was in our hands, then not in our hands, then back in our hands.
And then things fell back out of our hands.
But back in our hands with like a severe consequence.
We could possibly get relegated. So, I don't know, it was just a wave of, it was a lot going on.
In terms of making Sweden and getting relegated, like the possibility of both of those is just, I think it's ridiculous.
Prepping for the last 2 play days was, we were completely focused on ourselves, as most teams are, but we had gone through a role change not too long before that, and so we really just need a ton of reps.
He's going that's one. Oh, yeah, sorry. Good job. He's got the fish shoot on, so I'm telling him.
So we're just playing as many scrims as we could. We did an extreme kind of boot camp schedule leading up to it for about 2 weeks, just trying to kind of polish and iron out everything we could with the role changes. And we really didn't focus on the gravity of the outcome, whether it's positive or negative of the matches.
The main reason I came back was like because I realized what I had missed so much was international competition, and with like tournaments coming back and whatnot, I realized like, okay, like this is something I want to do still and all that. And then obviously we had to qualify though in a short time.
Leading up to the last 2 days, like the conversations that were being had as a team was really more like long-term future stuff. You know, making sure everything was working with the role change and that, you know, we were improving no matter what. Like we were going to end the season, if we ended 5th, we ended 5th, but as long as we were improving in our heads and we, you know, had something to show for it, that's kind of what we were aiming for.
Into the matchup, OXG have had a fantastic stage so far, and they are looking to close things out over today and tomorrow here. Currently holding the number 2 seed in the division, going up against DarkZero, who's been struggling so far here currently at number 6, towards the kitchen plant here. At the same time, there's a lot of defensive utility that still was unused at this execute point, but regardless, all the kills are going the way of DZ right now. Hyper most recently finding Laxing, bringing that defensive setup down to 3, but as well, we're going to see Vertical get one for himself. It's immediately exchanged, though, against Kino, and on top of that one, NJR rips everyone to shreds in the final.
It's kind of all in the moment. You don't really think about it. I don't know. You're just like kind of slowly regaining hope throughout a clutch. You're like, damn, and then you're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, oh, okay. But I mean, it was a really good clutch attempt.
With only 20 seconds remaining for OXG to try and put their case down on the ground. They're putting the effort in, but the utility's starting to come out for the defense as well now. Canadian with a pick, and Panba also to take out Laxing. Here comes the drop and the plant attempt, though, as Kino runs right into the spray pattern from Canadian. There will be the trade that comes out from Vertical, and he's going to get this case down just in time as well, but he doesn't have the security he needs. Panba will run up, shuts down the round for DarkZero.
So right before I joined DarkZero, I played Challenger League for the first time. I played 1 season with my team, and unfortunately we weren't able to make playoffs. And I was just finishing high school, so I'd had to get a job or go to college, and I didn't think it was very realistic to keep playing comp. But I got lucky, and like at the end of the first season, I got offered by DZ.
to play Ring Around the Rosie here on blue stairs because
Oh!
Eclipse, that's why the M590, you barely have to peek. As long as you get that shot off, you're dealing some very serious damage, and now Oxygen are down to 3 members.
And Eclipse is going to keep popping away. I mean, you saw this a couple of shots ago, or a couple of lineups ago. He's got the headshot angle for this peak. He knows exactly where to aim this, and that second one is as clean as can be. Canadian with a quick cross to shut down Fox as he works his way in. There was some success for XG,
come on,
but it's
Troy!
all gone now as Canadian does it a second time to close out on the match. DarkZero take victory here today and are well on their way to climbing the leaderboard between today and tomorrow to maybe, just maybe, try and push themselves into the top 4.
Beating OXG, it's not a relief. I mean, like, you still have to, you're not getting anything out of it. We just knew what we had to do. We knew we had to finish the job.
You know, wins and losses can go either way, especially right now. But we beat OXG with flying colors. I mean, that was a huge confidence boost for everybody. And that was after Playday 7. So then the next day we had 2 matches, Astralis and Beast Coast. And so while we weren't overconfident because Astralis has always been really good against us, we knew that if we just brought our game, you know, we could close this out and go.
Meanwhile, going to be moving forward here over inside of Open and checking things out to see what exactly he can find down below. More importantly, if any players are going to reveal themselves, but nothing showing up just yet here. Retro will be the first kill to be picked up as he takes down NJR. With less than 4 seconds left, unfortunately, DZ are just not going to have the capability to negotiate themselves into this site in time, so Astralis will take the rebound and tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, we reached a very strange moment there for DarkZero.
Shuttle versus the World for a retake in the 1v2.
Ooh, this so very risky here for Shuttle, especially with the rotation that he had to make all the way across. And oh, what a shot! The oopsie-doopsie back and forth puts NJR on skates, practically on ice on that one, and now it's down to Pambazoo to try and oversee this bomb. They knew where he was, obviously Shuttle being 3 armor here. It's got the pings. Quite loud, and yeah, he's got the red pings, and oh, he's also got the case in his hands as well. This is gonna force Pambazoo to step up, and oh, this is gonna be a game of musical chairs, folks. Back and forth, who can possibly win on this advantage? He knows where he is. Pambazoo, he takes so much heat, and Shuttle, he is electric today, folks, but Pambazoo finally gets him shut down, and the timer just not playing into the defensive hand, and finally, DarkZero able to get back on the board.
I obviously knew it was going to be a long week. It was 3 matches in 2 games, which is something that I haven't done since Mexico. So I knew it was going to be a tough week, but I was super excited to hopefully win it all so we can make it to the major.
I think we kind of had the attitude, like, if we missed out on it, I think we would have been, like, disappointed just in the sense, like, that we're sad we weren't going. But I think we were all of the attitude that we were kind of rushed to try to piece everything together and make it happen. So we wouldn't have been, like, too down on ourselves if we couldn't have made the spot. Obviously, it would have been frustrating, like I said, but
For them in the moment, but this case still needs to go down. DP Fire will start that up as Pambazoo will drop in. Can't get the initial shots. Canadian can, though, as he's now down into the 1 versus 3. But this is for Sweden, folks. Right here, right now, the 1 versus 3. Can Troy get it done? Can he head back to the major? We haven't seen him in so long inside of a LAN. He'll be able to get the initial one, but what does he do with this time here? 30 seconds remaining inside of this clutch. He knows where the next target is, but does he know anybody is close? Has the one back, gets the second one, and oh my god, Canadian. It's a triple kill for him. Big bad Canadian on the steamroll right now, and J9 seals the deal. Canadian can't get it done, and DarkZero doesn't have enough in the tank.
Losing to Astralis was weird. So, we lost to a team that we don't think we should have lost to. So first off, just handling the loss, and we had a game afterwards later that night, so just being able to kind of like brush it off and just move on to the next one was the first obstacle, which we've never been bad at. But on top of that, qualifying for Sweden was now out of our hands again. So we had this big high going into the day before, being confident, and then losing right at the beginning, first game of the day, and now it's like, shit, like what are we gonna do? Like now it's up to TSM. So we kind of just reverted back to we messed up our opportunity.
If we look at what you've got on screen right now, the only way in which TSM does not qualify for Sweden is if it's a standard regulation win for Mirage. If TSM win in regulation or overtime, or it's an overtime win for Mirage even, that's where we see TSM qualify, because all they need is 1 point.
Yeah, starting today, it was all in DarkZero's hands. If they had won both their matches, they could have locked it down, but they lost their first game, Jacob, and so now TSM have the opportunity to seize the moment and go to Sweden.
For some weird feeling, you know, I thought about the Mirage game, and I'm like, if this game goes to Clubhouse, Mirage has this. Like, TSM historically has not really been a Clubhouse team. Mirage, I know, I think hasn't won Clubhouse all season, but they're a very strong Clubhouse team, and it's like someone you don't want to mess with. And then when I heard before the game, I think I just overheard that, you know, they're going to Clubhouse, and I'm like, okay, game on. Like,
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
And we enter a post plant. Bolo needs to hold this cross as long as he possibly can. Another nitro cell doesn't work out. Here comes the crossing fire. Bolo with one. Mozzie runs outside looking for a kill, but he doesn't come back to server window, but he will finally take down Shala. Bolo needs to keep his team in this match. Well, down one player. Nyx with Dream on low HP. This still might be accomplishable for Bolo, but he needs to hold firm. Counter defuse attempt coming out from Nyx. All of a sudden, it turns into a winnable situation, but it's not something he can stave off forever. Mirage keep themselves alive in the North American League. They will not go to relegations. Heartbreak for TSM FTX.
When we lost our second game against Astralis, like, everyone was kind of like a little worried, I guess, but we all spectated and watched the TSM versus Mirage, and when we saw them win, like, everyone on the team's excitement like immediately boosted. Like, the morale was like at an all-time high.
But of course the day was weird too, because the other game going on in front of us was the XSET SSG match, and SSG, I think they only lost once all season, and that was to Sonics. And that game, there was some implications that I don't think all the players knew, but it was just kind of something in the back of like my head. And basically it was like, if XSET were to beat Space Station, then our game versus Beast Coast was basically, we win, we're 4th place, we go to Sweden, we lose, we're 9th place, we get relegated.
Go to relegation.
Go to relegations.
I mean, I guess you could say it's just because how close it was, but still, seems kind of like a wild possibility to either be considered one of the best in your region or the worst of the worst.
Clear things out, most notably on the second floor. But DarkZero's dodging all of this presence for the most part here. Hyper's going to stick around as he is going to be this more extended player. He's got a great opportunity to punish Anthony, and he excels at it as well. We'll move back into his other rotation point. Still has one more member of Beast Coast to deal with in this immediate area, and it's going to be Alec playing from the other side. This is the big MVP so far from Beast Coast, and if he can be eliminated, that is going to make Beast Coast be a shell of their former selves, and he gets the job done. Hyper shuts down young Alec, and now you just have Jay, Sippin, and Fozo left. Once again, a 3v5, but Hyper's going to continue his wrath as he gets a 3rd kill before finally going down on the cross to Sippin. A little bit closer towards the Solarium stairs. Panba will now take up the position on the inside of Trophy here to fend off the window pressure, and it will work as he takes down Fozo, making these numbers a bit more palatable. 38 seconds left though, but Panba continues the aggression, out to find Sippin by the next window on the other side of the building. He's got one more headed his way as well. Still going to see some pressure coming down the Trophy stairs. In fact, both of them could be taken down by Panba. They should expect him in here, but no! He gets the triple, going for the quad as well, and he gets it done! Panba secures another round for DZ.
That game sense was absolutely disgusting.
I mean, so I was the other guy live in the 2v4. I didn't do anything. I was like Mira way back in the site, so I could barely move. I was like, all right, Rob, time to make moves. And I just watched his outline, and he just started zooming around, killing people, and I was just sitting there just screaming like, nice, 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 Rob. So, yeah, I said that we had to make a play. I think Rob was already aware of the fact that we kind of had to make a play, but yeah, it was more so on him. And yeah, I just kind of sat and watched it happen.
It's been super exciting to team with not only like, you know, everyone on the team now, but especially Troy. One of the only event I've ever gone to was Invite 2020, and I got to watch like SSG win it all. And it was just so exciting to see Troy, like someone you kind of, every player looks up to, and to now team with him, it's just crazy. I played one season of CL, and now I'm Troy.
from DarkZero's time here. DarkZero will be very, very careful to make sure that they succeed in taking down these last two players without much of an issue. There goes Jay, and it's all left on to Alec here, the best player in the matchup until this point, but it's not going to matter as Canadian shuts it all down. DarkZero get a flawless round, and they are going to the major in Sweden.
Well, I hope they like the cold, Emzo, because if they don't, they're going to need to buy some extra layers. The tickets have been punched. DarkZero survived the day, and it takes us all the way down to the last game of the season in order to decide it.
Well, it's a good thing they brought a Canadian for that cold.
Every round we won, Troy, a couple of guys, again, this game meant everything to them, qualifying for all these major events, and we were yelling at them. We were just so amped up that usually that wouldn't happen for a Beast Coast game. But yeah, I think it just showed that it like meant everything to them, and they were going to leave everything on the table that day.
Everyone on the team's excitement like immediately boosted. Like the morale was like at an all-time high. Everyone was super pumped, and then we showed it against Beast Coast, and we earned our spot at the major.
I'm not getting a Coke. Here, I'll hoodies are fine. Okay. Oh, we'll go ahead and go there. Rob needs some. Oh, it's a hoodie, dude.
No, we don't wear camouflage. Let's put that back up.
Wait, why?
Because we don't.
Okay.
Here, check these aren't hoodies, but these are crew necks, the top ones.
What is this?
It's a crew neck sweatshirt. I don't know if you like those or not.
I don't care what I wear.
Okay.
You want me to get it?
Dude, I am not built for this.
Neither am I. I'm a child.
I wasn't able to make CL playoffs, but both my seasons in Pro League I've been able to make a major, which is like very impressive for like a rookie. But I'm just lucky to have such an experienced team and like such a good team. But it's not something that happens very often. But I'm super excited.
Dude, he looks great in that hat.
Holy shit.
You might need it.
That's good. Yeah, I might need it.
I think we're kind of coming into our own as a team. We've done all the work we can. I think we've worked as hard as we possibly could, so it's all just about showing up.
I know where I want to get with the team, and everyone's on the same boat. Like, we want to become a winning team. That's really it, is just like getting on the path to that, I'd say.
I don't know. Not sure. We're just nasty.